I've been wanting to talk about this since Anime Adventures re-released. It kept getting worse, and I just couldn't make a video on it. But I think it's come to a point now where there's not much that we can do to fix this, unless the developers make the decision to themselves. And that is obviously the topic of this video. It's in the thumbnails and the title: macros. They've infected Anime Adventures. We all know this. We all know when we're in a public lobby, we always see at least one person, at least one, walking like this. And then they maybe like rub up against the wall a little bit until they just stand here and walk. And we've seen that. And sometimes they even re-teleport back here and they just walk, and they keep doing that. And we've all seen it by now if you play in public servers. It's the macros. It's the new macro, I think it's called like Baxi, and then there's also, what's it called, informal. I don't really know. I'm not really a part of the community. I don't care about macros. I don't endorse them. I don't use them. I just don't, like, whatever, right? I used to not care about macros at all because they used to not bother anyone. I mean, you would just macro by yourself overnight, by yourself, solo. It wouldn't affect anyone. But now they're starting to affect people in Anime Adventures, and it's affecting players who are actually playing the game, and it's making it so that they can't even finish one of these events when they're playing with players. They don't even get to finish it. And the whole point of doing this is to finish it because, one, you get a bonus amount of stars, which will help you get Aizen, and then also there's the chance to get Dark Mage and Buddha. We all know this, but now there's people just macroing, and it ruins the fun for everyone else because yes, sure, there's a new macro where they place down their units and they upgrade them 3 times and whatever, but they still vote. The bot still picks up the worst things to vote. I've personally gone into lobbies with players. I'm fairly strong. We know I have unique Aizen, I have my Divine Fury, and I got Enlightened. Like, I have a fairly strong team, and for every single matchmaking I do, I usually am on the top of the leaderboard for damage. And because of this macro problem, I get I've gotten 4 people at one time macroing, and they vote for the most candy multipliers, and I can't solo when they all just vote 100% health, 80, 50 over and over again. And then the 2 other people that are actually in my lobby playing, I have to just be like, hey, sorry, I have to leave. I can't beat this by myself, essentially. And you know, you wasted 30 minutes of your time. It's just cringe. It's gross, and it ruins part of the game, and I don't like it. So that brings me to, how do we fix this? Well, the thing is, us as players, we're not going to be able to fix it, because if this game was done properly, people wouldn't want to macro. They wouldn't have to macro. It takes, well, I solo it. It takes me about 30 minutes to complete one of these. But I've had longer matches that take like 45 minutes to complete. But still, 30 to 45 minutes to complete one of those is insane. And you complete it, and I get about 5,000 candy when I do it, which is just under 4 10 summons. So that's essentially that's 1 10 summon every 10 minutes, or 1 summon a minute, which sounds good, but it's not, because we all know the rates are horrible. So you pair a really long game mode with rates that are atrocious, people are gonna macro, and that's just how it is. I can't even blame people that macro, because I've played these stages probably like 50 plus times, and I'm bored of them already. I don't even want to play the game because it's just ridiculous. I've already maxed out my battle pass. I got Enlightened. I want Dark Mage, but like realistically, it's gonna be hard to get him. And obviously, Aizen's a way farther shot than that. So people macro, and it's fair. I completely understand why people do it. It's all on the developers, in my opinion. I think the developers need to do something about this, and they did try. I will give them a benefit of the doubt. They added the captchas, trying to help everyone out, and the captchas used to be letters and numbers, and people bypassed that with macros, and then they changed it to just numbers, and people bypassed that with macros. So what can the developers do? Well, in my opinion, I think it comes down to a lot of quality of life features. And I don't mean like the unit manager and whatever. I mean like making the games faster. I'm not saying add 2 times, 3 times speed, because I think that completely ruins tower defense games, in my opinion. I think the games themselves just need to be faster. AA is super outdated right now because they have no quality of life, and we all know story stages take like 8 minutes, or they used to. I mean, I can blow through a story stage easy, but like I'm caught up. But back in the day, it would take like 6, 7, 8 minutes to complete a story, and there's 6 acts. It would take a long time to complete one story, and there's like 13 story maps, 20, I don't even know how many story maps are there. There's like 20 story maps, and that takes hours. Yo, what's up? It's Editor Ka. I did just want to add on my point about the story modes taking too long. I am aware that there are world jumpers. I know that there's world jumpers, which makes it way nicer for new players, but in my opinion, I actually haven't tested it, but there's no way they're going to add world jumpers for every new story map that they add in the future, which means that it's still going to take a long time, especially if it's like 7 to 8 minutes per story stage. I would take you about 48 minutes to complete an entire new story mode, which is just, in my opinion, that's a little ridiculous. Like almost an hour is kind of crazy, but I just wanted to add that in. I do know there's story jumpers, so don't go typing in the comments, oh god, there's story jumpers. No. I know, I'm just saying and using it as a point that the game's slow. I'm just letting you guys know. But yeah, back to the video. The game itself is outdated. It's slow. So I think they need to just increase the game speed overall. I'm not saying give us 2 times, 3 times speed, but increase the game speed overall. If you can cut back this event even by 10 minutes, 15 minutes, meaning that I can complete one of these in 15 minutes, that would be so nice. Sure, 15 minutes is still very long, especially for the percentage, like for the drop rates, but cutting back from 30 minutes to 15 would be so nice. We double our currency, we double our chances, like we double everything that we're doing. And I think if the developers made this game faster, people would want to actually play it and actually manually grind for what they want. I think that's one big thing AA is lacking in so hard. It's too slow. It needs to speed up. I also think they should just remove the captchas at this point, because they clearly aren't working, and it's just like an extra step that no one really wants. Just get rid of the captchas at this point, because if you had a captcha, people are going to find a way to bypass it in a macro, so it doesn't matter. Get rid of the captchas at this point. It doesn't matter. I also know this might be a little controversial take, but make the rates better. Now, I know AA is a game that to get a secret unit in AA is way more of a fulfilling feeling than getting it in any other game because of how rare the characters are. The difference between a secret and a mythic character in this game is a pretty big difference. Like, you can tell that a secret character is worth getting a secret character. Like, it's worth that rarity, and I respect that about AA. I like that about AA. I like that getting a secret character actually means something, and they actually will propel you and make you stronger. Some of the rates are atrocious. I'm not complaining about the 0.5% chance for a mythic. That's totally fine in my opinion, because if you get a mythic in this game as a starter, you're chilling for a while. And also the events, the 0.25% chance for a mythic is kind of crazy, but then again, they do have a pity. I wish the pity was a little bit lower, even just 300, 250. Like, but once again, the new units in the event are really strong. Like, Firin is a meta heal unit already. Cream is pretty solid as well. I don't have Siren, but Siren's a meta slow unit. She's not better than Kochi, but like, she's a meta slow unit. Like, so they have value. The mythics have value, which I appreciate, but the game, it takes too long to get them. I think the biggest issue, make the rates a little bit better, make the game a little bit faster, get rid of the captchas, and maybe give people more rewards for completing these long events. Like, imagine completing one of these. I mean, most players that have come back to AA as old players have just been grinding this event out because that's the only content they have right now. Imagine we got food every completion. Imagine we got a new food that gives us the most XP for units, because AA's leveling up system is horrible. It takes so long to level up a unit in AA to level 100 or 110 if you limit break. It takes a while, and food is kind of hard to come by in this game. So your best bet is to legit fuse legendary units and even at times mythic units into your units to make them level up faster, because there's no way to get food. Like, they need to just increase the rewards a little bit. Like, imagine this stage gave you food, maybe some gems, maybe some gold. Nothing crazy. I'm not saying give us like 1,000 gems every completion, but like even just something else that would also benefit us for having to play it for this long. It's just an issue. It's an issue with how AA is built. We all know this. I mean, all the OG players know this. AA has an issue. Like, it's a long grind. It's very pay to win. It's the most pay to win game in its genre, and it gets boring to grind because it takes so long. It's not fun anymore. One thing I also wanted to mention was the possibility of adding a vote kick system. Now, I know there's some controversy and some feelings regarding that system because we all know players. We all know the player base. People are toxic. People are going to be playing the new event. They're going to see a level 20 in their lobby and they're going to vote kick them because that's how toxic this community is. On one hand, it's like, hey, you know what? That might make sense because based on their level, they might not have good units and they might not be contributing a lot to the team. But on the other hand, I'd rather have someone that's at least trying to do something than have some garbage leechers. Is that wrong to say? No. I also do think there's a way for the voting system to be made for it to not just be abused by players to just be able to vote kick anyone off. I feel like there's probably a way to do it where it would realize that, or like some sort of like, it would realize that someone is macroing. Like if they're, because if you've seen any of the macroers in the game, their heads are down and they just stand in one position like this. I'm assuming they're going to be zoomed out and they just stand in like one position. There has to be some sort of way for the game, for a system to be able to detect that there is an AFK person here. They're macroing because they're just standing here and the only thing that's moving is their mouse. They're not upgrading their units all the way. Like there has to be some sort of way, some sort of feature that would allow for a vote kick system to pick up on that. Maybe in the game it's like, hey, you get a little pop-up, hey, we've detected that a player in your game is macroing. Would you like to kick them off the team? And then players could vote that way. But I'm not a developer. I have no idea if that's even possible to do in a Roblox game. So, I mean, it's just an idea. So if there is a developer out there who would somehow be watching this video, take it into consideration if it's possible, because I feel like that would help out a lot. But anyway, that's kind of it. I have nothing else to say. I just wanted to make this video because I have opinions on it, and I think a lot of people will share the same opinions as me. Unless you're a macroer, then you'll be like, no, macros are great. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I just want to share my thoughts, my possible solutions that I think would work, and just let me know what you guys think down in the comments regarding all of this situation. It's just kind of, it's ridiculous. So, you know, just let me know. My name is Ka. If you're new here, I would really appreciate if you guys left a like or subscribed. You have no idea how much that actually helps me out. I know a lot of people push it all the time, but it genuinely does help out a lot. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. You can check out a bunch of my other videos. I don't just do commentary style videos. I do other videos. You can check them all out, whatever. It is up to you. That's about it for me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the time is for you. And I hope to see you guys soon. All right, goodbye.